Okay, it's me. Sorry, it looks like we had some technical difficulties there. I was trying to be fancy and add some video to the intro, but I'm gonna not do that because it's messing up my computer. Anyway, welcome to another Orthodontic Resource Group podcast, the ORG podcast. My name is Cade. I own a small lab here in Texas, and I'm one of the hosts of this podcast. But we got an exciting show today. Today we're talking about wire bending robots. Now my guests today probably don't want me to say that, but I like calling it a wire bending robot because the future is now, and we get to see what it looks like. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce these. But first, I'm going to do a little. I guess I'm losing internet here. Apologize for that. Um, I do have a little bit of housekeeping here. Today, this is the conference. If you go to the orthodonticresourcegroup.com, you can click on that front image of all the whole group, and you can look at all the exhibitors and the speakers and things on the portal, and we can go from there because today's guest is actually going to be at our conference, and they're going to have the machine there. So that's going to be the wire bending robot, as I like to call it. So let me remove that one. Let's introduce Pauline and Constantine. Thank y'all so much for.
Hi, Cade. Thank you for having us, ORG. Thank you, Cade.
Oh yeah, definitely. I appreciate you jumping on for a podcast this week. I'm excited to do this. So let me close some tabs here to make sure that I am good. So anyway, Pauline contacted me, said she had watched the ORG podcast with Brandon Farley, who's the ORG vice president. Said that was one of the most funniest podcasts we did, and I agree. That was great. And she said y'all talked about the Microbender there that he has, and he did a real good job talking about it, but we didn't go into depth. So I asked her if she wanted to be on the podcast and come in talk about the wire bending machine that we have. Pauline is the director of sales there, and Constantine's the president. So that's neat. Now, my very first questions I usually ask is, how did y'all get into this industry? Because most of my guests, they were either like born in the lab, or they were an assistant or something. They got in there, but y'all found yourself in a different position. I don't know which one wants to go first.
Yeah, I'll. It's a long story, actually. I don't know for how much time we have, but back in 1992, I designed and manufactured one of the first CNC spiral machines in the world. So everybody's going to ask, what is the spiral machine?
Right.
So you see these fan guards you have on the top of your air conditioning units.
Yeah.
So that you don't put your finger and cut your finger there.
Oh.
So they used to make a ring, butt welded, make a bigger ring, butt welded, bigger ring, butt welded, bigger ring, and so on. They make 30 rings, and then they all weld them together. So I came up with a machine that will make the Archimedes spiral out of a single piece of wire with an increasing radius as it turns around. And that eliminated many operations to make that fan guard. And our customers saw an increase in productivity and efficiency, of course, of about 3,000%.
Wow.
That was huge.
Yeah.
So that was and actually, we're the only ones making that still. Like, we have the technology and the algorithms in the software that will generate a perfect spiral just by entering 3 numbers, which is going to be the first radius, the last radius, and the distance between the spirals.
And then it does all the calculations in between.
It does everything by itself. So the setup is, anybody can program it. It's very, very simple. And that's what we always manage to do is, yes, there's technology, but you need a physicist to run the technology, right?
Right.
So we're coming up with software that anybody can use the best technology available in the world. So back then, I opened up the company called AIM. It stands for Automated Industrial Machinery. And of course, we're still running it. Throughout the years, we installed about 1,200 machines worldwide. Main market was US, Canada, and Mexico, of course. We have many installations in Africa, in Australia, in New Zealand,
Wow.
China, believe it or not. We were exporting a lot of machines in China, India, of course, Europe, Africa, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, and all these countries. So we've been developing these machines for the past 32 plus years, 33 years.
Wow.
And there's a lot involved. A lot of people think they're simple. It's not simple. There's a lot of knowledge going behind these wire bending machines because it's not bending wire. It's not simply machining. When you machine a piece of steel, you know the exact coordinates you're going to cut, and then it does a perfect job. This is to bend the wire. So unless, and nobody knows it, unless you have all the different parameters of the material and the wire that you need to bend, there's no way you're going to predict what the bender is going to bend and what degree of bend you're going to receive from the machine.
Yep.
So that's been bugging me for 3 decades, right? So, and we always make it better and better and better. We always better it. But about 10 years ago, we came up with a solution where we could precisely predict the deformation of the wire and predict the resulting angle based on certain tool parameters that we install on the machine. In other words, when you bend a piece of wire, you don't only bend, the wire has spring back, so it'll bend back itself.
Yeah.
It depends how hard that wire is, right? So you go to the best foundries in the world that produce the wire, and they're going to give you a tensile within plus minus 5,000 psi, which is huge. Just to give you an idea, that's plus minus 5 degrees of a bender setup, which means you cannot really predict anything. So we came up with the algorithms to allow us to predict very accurately the resulting bands of a bending machine. And looking at and of course, then we started importing step files, we imported DXF files and what have you. So we brought the digital world into the wire bending. And we looked at, we had, back then, we had many requests from labs, right? So everybody had, even 20 years ago, they had problems. So somebody goes to Google, how do I bend my wire, right? And we did a good job in monetizing and marketing ourselves as AIM, where if you type, let's say, what is the fastest CNC bending machine in the world, you're going to see us #1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we didn't even pay for that. We have a channel in YouTube. We have about 2.5 million views, just to give you an idea.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, you can Google it maybe real fast. What is the fastest CNC bending machine in the world? And you're going to see our YouTube video right there. So anyway, make the long story short, I figured that, hey, we can help these guys at the orthodontic labs and give them a hand, since we made the machine so accurate, and maybe we can make a mini micro bending machine for an orthodontic lab. And we did. We brought in, there you go, you found it. See, we have 2.2 thousand subscribers on that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and somewhere it says, see,
And
2.2 million views, right?
yeah, 2.2 million views. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pause this because it's my internet is bogging down right
right,
now.
right.
So
So,
that
so anyway, we made back in 2015, 16, we developed what we call today the Microbender. It's a portable tabletop device. You can see it back there, where you put it on a table and you plug it on the wall. So our first trade show, I believe it was in IDS back in 2000, I want to say 16 or 17. And everybody loved it, but there was a culprit. Um, First of all, a lot of people there came and congratulated us, and they said, "Hey, kudos, guys, because we spent millions of dollars and many, many years in development, and we could not make it."
oh,
So one of them came to our booth, and they're like, "How do you program it?" So I'm like, "Well, you got to enter your length and your bend and your length and your bend." And then after I was explaining to him how you program that machine, I realized that there's no way that's going to work.
right.
It might take you like half an hour to program it. So the guy goes, "Hold on a second. If it's going to take me half an hour to program it, I might be done in 20 minutes."
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
really bummed like that. And I'm like, you know what? He's totally right. That's not going to work. So we spent a lot of money, a lot of development. We delivered the machine, we made it, but it would be impossible to be practical. So we had two choices. One choice would be to scrap the whole project, and the other choice would be to create a new software development team and come up with an easy way to design the appliances, the wires automatically.
so
And
that
we did
so
the next.
you actually had to develop this and software at the same time, parallel.
Correct. Yes.
Uh, yeah,
Now,
because I
there's two softwares. There's one software that controls the machine and the servos. Now, we had to come up with a software that will generate the design automatically and then send it to the servos in order to be made. So it's CAD CAM, CAD
right.
computer aided design, and CAM computer aided machining. Okay, so we designed the what we call today jaw draw. It took us like 3 years for the initial design, actually, to the initial software development. We had a couple of excellent team members, and JoJo you can import there you go, you can import the STL file and then follow some simple guidelines and select what kind of appliance you want to make from the templates, and then the software will automatically design it for you and fit it for that particular mouth, right? My mouth is different than yours and everybody, and it's going to fit it directly to that jaw that you see on the screen right now. So the different colors you see on the wire, they're different intensity of collision, and that's a visual aid
Right.
to the user to see how tight and how loose the wire will be in the proximity of the jaw and the teeth or what have you. And then, depending on how you want to make your appliances, believe me, I've heard it all. You know, some people like them loose, some people like them tight, some people want them over there and over here.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works, but everybody's way is the best way. You know?
Right. Oh,
Right?
I know that. I've worked in several ortho labs, so everybody's got their own system.
Exactly. So we had to make the software flexible to accommodate all these requirements and requests, right? And we managed to get a product that's very, very user friendly and very very easy for somebody to learn within, I would say, 2-3 hours of work. Actually, Pauline, when she started working here, she learned how to use the jaw draw within the first day.
I actually made your samples for you, Cade. How did they turn out?
You made those? Oh yeah, I'll bring those up. Watch this. I was testing this. So some samples. So she sent me some samples. Let me
There you go.
Full
She was
screen
so
here.
excited to make that.
Yeah, like
To actually learn the software, jaw draw.
There you
Yes,
go.
there you go.
The full wraparound.
And look how smooth.
yeah, look at those.
Beautiful.
I was really impressed with how smooth. And you can see if you look just close up, just slight little where the machine gripped it to bend it. So I was impressed with all this and different sizes. So you sent two sizes of the same thing, and of course these are 2D. And I measured it, and I think this is 045 or something like that, and this is 020.
Correct.
So
The one on
those
the
are
right,
the
045.
those are the two sizes, or the range is 020 and 045, and that's 2D, but you also made me a 3D bend.
I did.
Let me
Yes.
get some.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can see it does it in 3D if I can get it in the
Correct.
picture.
Yes.
So yeah, these are and different loops, different. You know, like you were saying, every lab's different. They want their loops. So these are all different sizes of adjustment loops or how you can do it. So yeah, I was impressed with it. And you made those on the jaw draw, Pauline.
I did. Very easy to use. It's a very friendly software to where basically I got a degree in healthcare informatics, electronic health records, and then also I was a healthcare administrator. So learning the software, it only took me 2.5 days to actually make your samples. And I've sent probably over 50 samples to orthodontic labs. And everybody has their signature touch, like
Yeah.
you said. If, let's say, baby Tom loses his retainer, right? You can go onto soft draw or jaw draw, click on the file, boom. And
So it saves them.
It saves them, yes. And then also say that somebody breaks their retainer, right? You have that 5%, which that machine basically, it'll go ahead and make the project to 95%. But you're putting your signature trade, let's say just a loop. You're like, hey, I didn't make this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about on the
retainer.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about on the phone. Was every lab I know, that little bit on the end, that little what I call the acrylic tag or the anchor, everybody does it a little different. So you just keep it straight, and you can add your own little flair, as so to speak, on the end of it. Yeah, so that's
trademark on the retainer.
And
it might take you like 2-3 minutes to design that on the jaw draw, but the machine will make it in like 30 seconds. So what I always tell my customers is that, listen, if you want to change it a little bit, it's not even worth it to fight the wire by hand. Just go to jaw draw, make the change you want, and just print another one. It'll be much faster than you fighting the wire for like a couple minutes, you know?
Yeah, and you had mentioned something with when you were talking about getting into. Oh, my computer froze. Hold on a second. Well, sorry everyone. My computer is, of course, acting up right when we went live. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, my computer is frozen up. Let me hold on a second.
I usually turn off Outlook if you have it open.
Turn off what?
Outlook, the email.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that'll bog up things, won't it?
Exactly. It takes a lot of bandwidth.
There we go. Okay. Let me remove some stuff, and I'm going to remove these videos. down here. But what you were talking about before with the tensile strength and trying to fight that, that's one of the things of training a wire bender is so hard to do because you can bend it what you think is 90 degrees, but then it's only 85 or something like that. So you have to teach the new wire benders, you got to overbend it to
No
get
matter
it to work.
what, you end up bending its bend at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Even if you're experienced, you know what I mean? It's impossible. Where the machine controls that perfectly. There's a certain setup that you do. And mind me, even our wire, all the wires not perfectly the same. Maybe one day they threw several leads in the foundry and they made the wire, and then maybe another day they threw whatever Mercedes, and these wires are going to be fairly equal, but nothing's going to be the same. So, and that's what we say whenever you change spool of the machine. When you buy a new spool, you go through a certain setup. It'll take you 20 minutes. You do the setup, and then you're done. You save that setup, and whenever you want to load that wire, the machine will know and bring up automatically the setup.
That and that's one thing that I was wondering about. The tooling, there's a range of wire sizes in the tooling. Is there 3 different toolings to get with this?
Usually, yeah. There's I think the 020, 028, 30, 32 use the same tooling. Use the same hardware tooling. There's each wire diameter has its own setup file. So same hardware tool, but 3 different profiles, let's say.
And can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I apologize about I think it's my computer is just, I don't have Outlook on. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it's downloading updates.
Yeah, maybe so. It just absolutely is frozen on me. I can't see. Can you see me move around, or am I frozen?
You're fine. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Now I think we lost you.
Okay, I'm back.
There you go.
my browser crashed. So hope the live stream's still going, so that's good. Okay. Frozen. I do have a question from one of the things here. And Adam Erickson, very interested in the wire machine. Will you be in the Dallas ORG meeting? And that's a yes. You are going to be there with the machine.
Of course.
Yeah. So, Adam, I think I saw your registration come in. I believe you're Black Bear Ortho Lab. I might be wrong, but so very good. The feed is good.
April.
When is the trade show? April
5th and 6th. So that's a good point. Let me, I do have a banner here. So yeah, it's the April 5th and 6th at the Westin, Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. And we are going to go and we'll have a great time. Well, you'll have about 50 to 60 ortho labs there.
Nice.
It'll be nice.
And the ortho-specific ortho labs. So
Hey,
yeah,
I want you to actually show everybody our factory in the back, because a lot of people actually thought that we made our machines in China.
That's my fault. I thought that.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Things can be very deceiving, but show everybody exactly our factory in the back. And I sent you pictures yesterday.
Yeah, and your number one picture?
Yes. USA.
Yeah, we made it right there right behind y'all. It's actually made right behind y'all in the
Exactly.
factory. And I got some other pictures here you sent. And those
Yeah.
are huge wire bending. So that's your AIM department, right? That's the
Yeah, that's a 24-axis CNC wire bending.
Whoa. If that's 24 axis, what's the microbender?
The microbender is 4.
4 axis. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 24
That's
axis.
our piece. That's our, yeah, we're very proud of that machine.
Wow, that's a very nice setup. A lot of ortho labs will like this because it looks very ortho labby to us.
And I actually took a picture of the 2D. There it goes. And Constantino will explain how it can help our industry.
Yeah, so that's a new development that we have. It's never been released. That's still a prototype, and we're finishing up the software for it. But as you see, it's a tabletop. That's why we set it on a table, right?
Yeah.
But it's a very fast, 2-dimensional microbender. And what I mean by that, the simple arch wires, the ones you buy in a baggie with 10 or 100 or what have you, they're usually made by what we call a CNC spring machine. And these machines are fairly huge, large, and they don't work as fast as we want them to. So we came up with a small tabletop, 2-dimensional CNC microbender. And our goal is to produce about 3,500 to 4,000 arch wires per hour on this one.
Per hour.
Per hour.
Our
So let me tell you what that means. Right now, you all buy these from China, and I don't blame you. They're very, very inexpensive, right?
Right.
Well, after we have that machine out, whoever is going to buy it is going to be able to export these arch wires to China.
Oh, so we'll be the exporter to China.
Exactly.
Well, you just reverse the roles there for
Exactly.
everybody. So
Exactly.
we'll be exporting out to China.
Exactly.
That's
goal.
amazing. Yeah, that's a beautiful office, and you're there in Tampa, Florida,
that is correct.
Yes.
and y'all
55,000 square
assemble
foot.
them. Say that again.
We actually have our facilities 55,000 square foot.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the main assembly of the large machines.
So y'all assemble both the AIM and the AOS machines in the same
Correct.
warehouse. Okay.
We're sharing the production space.
You know,
can see that's a 15-ton forklift over there.
man, what is that unit behind it? That huge unit that's looks like a house.
Yeah, that's a big paint booth for the machines.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, but because the whole space is air conditioned, we had to install 2 different fans. One fan sucks air in, and another one spits it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we deal with that on a smaller scale with ortho, but these look like what your big machine bends.
Correct. These are samples from what our customers make, right? So you can see in the bottom, there's some face masks. You can see the spiral, actually. You can see a small spiral on the
Oh, yeah.
there to the right.
Yeah.
All these peg hooks, right? All these peg hooks, the wire hooks are made from our machine.
The pegboard hooks themselves are made from
Exactly.
your machine to hold the
Yeah.
samples made from
Yeah.
your machine. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You can see on the very left, there's a Whirlpool stovetop.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah. The bronzy looking one.
Right. It's actually rusted,
Oh.
from the years. It's a pretty old sample,
But yeah, here's the office. Really nice. Do y'all those that live in the Florida area, can they come by or
Yeah, absolutely.
contact you?
Absolutely.
Of course.
That's our virtual booth we put together in our COVID days.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, then
Yeah,
it feels like you're really in an exhibit hall.
right,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, because COVID made it hard for everybody.
Oh, yeah,
But
right.
I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad we can all meet in person because sometimes it's better to communicate in
Absolutely.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did get some comments. Let's see. The feed is good. Can they demonstrate a labial bow or wraparound or anything in real time? Now they can't do that real time. They'll do it at the conference, Perry. So, but
We
I,
got it a little differently set up.
I was gonna scrub through this video here, which actually shows the machine, and I'll let that play while we talk about it. You said this is a uh four arch, not four arch. What were you
4 axis.
saying? Four axis.
Right.
It looks very simply done. Just a little twist here and a twist there, and um,
That's our basic rule. KISS. You know the KISS rule?
oh
Keep it
yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Yes.
Yeah, but everything is machined to perfection. Like you cannot make these any better. But that's
That's
why it's expensive, of course, you know.
that I just love watching this being bent. And we oh, let me see. I'm making sure I'm in the right microphone. I am not in the right microphone. Sorry. That probably sounded terrible.
It didn't sound at all.
Okay, so hopefully it's fine now. When I rebooted my, does it sound a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, so when I reboot it, sorry all the technical issues. That just means people need to go to the conference to talk to y'all at the booth, or
Right.
so as far as you know, what can the microbender produce at this point? You're talking about your prototype, but what can the microbender that is for sale right now, what like labial bows?
Oh, you
Like
mean the 3D, the microbender we're selling? You're not talking about the
yeah,
2D.
the current one,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have about 8, 9 templates already. Pauline, I don't know if you have the list.
I do.
So we do full wraparounds, labial bows, the NANs,
C-class, and
C-class,
then
yeah.
a free form, like I was telling you yesterday, Kate,
Yeah.
which you have a 3D model on the jaw draw, and you basically can perform your own, whatever you know, let's just say that you want to make a C-clasp, or that free form will allow you to actually bend to make that perfect. So
like you can make your own designs.
you can make your own
There's some
designs.
labs they want to do, they have their own patents, let's say, right?
Yeah.
You can go and design that with our jaw draw, with what we call the free form. It allows you to design anything you want.
And can that be saved as a template?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
No,
you
not
just
as a template.
okay.
It can be saved as a file.
File.
As a file, okay, that's what I was
Right.
asking. Yeah, and you could just pull
Yeah.
in that file every time for you upload a new STL file and the mouth is bigger. You can still pull in
Right.
that file and place it.
Correct.
Okay.
But it's very, very simple. Like you can recreate it uh, with using a mouse and a button, right? So it's not as simple as the template that's preloaded, right? But it's still very fast and efficient to make.
Oh yeah, the templates I could see you just pop it on there. I do have this, and I think we might have just answered it. Can you custom contour the labial bow to each tooth for a holly? Uh, and I think that's probably part of this video.
You can do that with a freeform, but you can still adjust you can split the segments and then add segments and then tweak each segment by itself.
Okay, and we were showing that. I think I just froze it It does not like that video. So let me remove that. So you can tweak it. We were talking about that before, where it was showing the different colors of red,
Right.
and that you were saying that's the collision. So you can actually custom contour each. I guess each part of the file is broken up into sections.
Correct.
Let me see if I can
There it
get.
goes.
Yeah, there we go. So you can actually grab parts of the wire in the software and push them into the tooth or pull them out of the tooth.
Right. See, now this one has 3 sections in the front, right? You can right click and add another section and make it 4 sections or 5 sections.
Oh, you're not hamstrung or locked into just the 3 sections that's default.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So you can just I don't know what that was that popped up. Oh, it goes to the thing. But the software, how in the world did you start with this software? Like, was there a starting point? Was there a base software that you used, or did you build this thing from scratch?
We started from scratch.
Started from scratch.
From
My
scratch.
gosh.
There was nothing available. We looked. We even called some software companies in the orthodontic world and asked them to partner with them, and nobody had anything. So we had to start from scratch.
So I think I just saw where you were clicking an extra section in there. How you expanded that out.
Exactly.
And added it. And so the red means it's actually in contact with the model.
It's touching somewhere. Now, mind me, that could be deceiving. It could be like a micromillimeter.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So actually, I like my whatever design. I like to see it red, which
Okay.
means it's going to fit the model. And it's you can adjust. Let's say I want my touch to be 0.5 millimeter apart from the surface, and there's a parameter in the software, and you can set that up. So you can set up the software to turn red, not when it touches, but even if it's within 0.5 millimeter, let's say, from the surface of the tooth.
Very nice. So
you can customize it, right?
Yeah.
Because some people like them tight, some people like them loose.
Yeah, and well, the same Facebook user. Sorry, it's not importing your name, but okay. Does it take a lot more time? This is probably the same one that asked about contouring the labial bow for each tooth. I assume it does take more time the more you manipulate in the software, but not the bending time. That would be about the same.
You right click. I mean, what's your definition? More time, right?
Right.
Of course,
Yeah.
more time. Right? But how fast can you right click, drag, right click, drag? Right.
Right. Okay.
My son can do it a lot faster than me. Let me tell you.
Well, and that's another thing I kind of wanted to get into was this doesn't necessarily replace a technician.
No.
Because we all know technicians are hard to come by. Anybody
Right.
who's in this world knows it's hard to come by.
Absolutely.
But can you make your technician more productive? And can you utilize a different kind of technician, like a digital technician? Pauline and I were talking about my son who is about to graduate. He does all my 3D printing in my lab, and he's about to go to a technical course and take CAD CAM CNC machining course there. And so, but he's a genius when it comes to the software.
Correct.
And so he could almost be my main wire bender. And if I don't have, you said the average is like this bends at about 90% done. And then it takes a technician to finish it off. Is that what you were telling me, Pauline?
It's about 95%. And then, of course, you want to put your signature trademark.
Yeah, your little
percent.
There's the wire. There's the wraparound. I forgot who was asking me.
The full wraparound.
Yeah.
Our vision, I mean, we're gonna go digital within 2025. We're gonna live in a digital world to where everybody needs to learn the technology. It took me 2.5 days to learn the software, but it's to increase, the productivity through wire 50% without hiring the new employees.
Yeah.
Teach your employees that you have in-house. Take the time as a lab owner, learn it, teach it.
Yeah.
Actually, with the machine, you can multiply that person to provide you 8 times the output that he's usually giving you.
That's a good.
Yeah.
So he or she would be your turn into 8 wire benders.
Yeah.
Especially-
Without calluses.
Without calluses,
yeah.
here, the arthritis, carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these days, these kids, it's like they get born with a mouse in their hand,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
And that's the pool we're drawing from for new technicians.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
so giving them something they're used to, teaching them. I mean, I still want to teach them how to bend a wire from a
Right.
straight piece.
You have to.
Because if the power goes out, we still got to get work done, and so get back there, start bending with a flashlight.
Right.
And so I definitely want to teach my son that. But I think you're making a good point where the future's here, and we're all digital. I know we went kicking and screaming into 3D printing, but it's here
Right.
now, and it's part of the system. It's like 70% of all my models are digital now.
Right.
So a couple more questions. Who supplies the wire? So it is what stainless steel? It's 304 stainless steel.
Yeah, that's a 304V.
304V stainless steel.
304V. Yeah, it's actually one of the best wires you can get, and that's guaranteed. I want to say we tried them all, unless there was somebody that we don't know. We
Right.
tried, and we currently get that from Fort Wayne Metals, excellent supplier. But Fort Wayne Metals does not want to deal with, selling 10 kilograms of wire, right? So what we do is we buy bulk. Whenever we buy something from Fort Wayne, we'll buy 20, 30 spools, and we stock it. This way, our customers, they can get next day delivery for any wire they want.
Oh, nice. So I was looking at what you sent me, and it was a 10-pound spool.
Correct.
And you said you get about 10,000 ish wires out of it.
So you can go to our website under Q&A, and we created an Excel spreadsheet, like a table, where it shows you, and it's all math, right? Depending on the wire diameter, the bigger the wire, the heavier it gets, so you make less, right?
Yeah.
So there's a table that will give you an approximation of how many appliances you're going to do. I don't know if you can get it.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
But I would say, I believe, and pardon me if I'm wrong, it's between 8 and 12,000 appliances per spool of wire.
Okay, depending on diameter of the wire. If you do all wraparounds, that number's going to be less. If you do little C-clasp, it's going to be get more out of it. Yeah,
exactly. So if you go under Q&A, it's there's a very good example in there.
Let me present this. Here is, while I'm looking that up, here's another question from Adam. Is there a queue that you can add all the jobs made of the same diameter wire? So once it starts beginning, automatically start bending the next job. Is there a queue function in the software?
Yes, there is. So we came up with what we call the job manager, where you have a separate computer that will queue all the parts and then print them when that machine will have that wire diameter installed on it. There's also, we have some labs that have 3 different machines. And what they do, they put 028 on this one, 032 on that one, and 045 on the third machine. And then JoJo will automatically, depending on what the user designs, the JoJo knows which machine has what wire diameter, and it'll funnel it to the correct machine automatically.
I think I might be in this areas. The cost of tooling for each 036 tools cover, yeah, so 036 tooling will cover wire diameters from 032 to 036.
Right.
So with the same tool, you can bend your labial bow and your wraparound or your
Right.
other arms. So with the 032, that's nice. I was looking for the
spreadsheet, maybe
yeah,
up, down.
let's see, maybe I went down too far.
Because that's a very common question, what you asked. How many appliances do we make per spool? I hope it's there. I can look it up if you want.
Oh, I didn't go down far enough. There's a list: labial bows, wraparound, C-class, support wires, TPA, lingual arch, RPE, ball clasp without the ball. I call those finger clasps because they look like a finger. And Nance. And I noticed in here 2 different types of Nance. How much time does one need to change a wire spool? That's interesting. Changing the spool of wire of the same diameter will take a couple minutes, varying on wire diameters, depending on the diameter difference. How many appliances can we produce with one spool?
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Hopefully y'all can see that. Let me get us out of the way a little bit. We can still talk behind it. Yeah, so it looks like, so diameter, can I click over here? Oh, I took that away. So we can.
Yeah, I don't think it's live. I think it's just an image.
Okay, it's an image. I was trying to.
But we can supply that to whoever wants. We can send them the Excel spreadsheet. But really, this is pretty updated. Yeah, 10 kilograms, and then you can put your how many kilograms you have and what's the price of spool. So we have 950 there, which is the current price of the wire. And then that yellow highlight will give you the price per part.
Gotcha. Okay. So like a 032, the length is that, oh, in inches. So that's probably, oh, it's got 43,475 inches in a spool of wire.
Right.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
At 45 parts per day, an average length of 4 inches. You'll have 239 days until empty, and 34 weeks until empty if you're doing 45 a day.
Right.
And a total number of parts is 10,000. So 032 at a diameter of 4 inches, which is actually a pretty good length for labial bows and parts and stuff.
Right.
And it'd be
Usually
88.
you need one spool of wire per wire diameter per year.
Oh, so one spool per year. That's pretty cool.
Right.
And at 8 cents, I almost read 88 cents per part, price per part. So it's actually 8 cents. So
No, that's 8 cents. Yeah.
Labial bow, 0.8 cents per part.
Right.
So let me get back to us. Not that one. And so that cue that we were talking about, and another Facebook user is asking, can you make the wire tuck in the interproximals to each tooth, especially for wraparound retainers? Like, I was showing a video. I don't know if they saw it, but like going in and out of the side of the tooth.
You could, but it's going to take you a little more time.
In the software.
Right, because you need to customize an existing template. So you would have to add a segment, bend it, add a segment, bend it, and so on.
Right, but the machine can obviously, I mean, this is
That's a
obviously
big
like
form. Yeah.
over, that's over contoured, but that's
Mhm.
definitely if you had teeth here, that would definitely be tucking in
Correct.
for sure. Yeah, it's good to get those parts like that uh from you, Pauline. I'm glad you sent those to me. And what I will put your email down below so that people can get a hold of you. Uh, so we did get the obvious question. How much does a microbender cost? And you were saying earlier, it's pretty much the cost of two technician salary for a year.
Correct.
Yeah. So that, but definitely talk to Pauline because she's got the payment plans and everything you'll need to know about that. I don't know. I'm not good financially like that. So
I'm
it's
here to help everybody.
yeah, yeah. So that's good. Well, let's talk. Somebody's interested in getting one of these. Let's talk about the purchase process. I saw a Q&A about the lead time. I assume y'all hand bend them in the room behind you there in Florida. Do y'all wait to create them until someone orders it, or do y'all have a few in stock?
We do. We have. I think we build them in batches of 10. So when
Okay.
that batch falls down to 4 or 3, we make another 10.
Okay. Okay. So then, most likely, there's some ready to go. Uh,
Correct. Yes.
and they're probably shipped in like freight things. I mean, the box, you can see it behind you. It's desktop, so it's not very big, but I'm sure all
Right.
the paraphernalia that comes with it.
Yeah. We have a special container, crate, I should say, that we ship these so that we make sure it's not getting damaged.
Oh yeah, and so yes, so it's shipped via freight to your lab, and
Correct.
uh,
Yes.
uh, y'all mentioned part of the price is like 2 days of training. I think I read somewhere it could be in person or virtual. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. We usually, I mean, all the exports we've done, it's done virtual. Like we have customers in Japan, Philippines, China, Australia, you know. So all these are done virtually.
Oh, that's yeah, that makes sense. That let's see. I would like to. Oh, thank you for well. That's a long. Thank you for answering my questions. I'd like to see and use the machine in person before purchasing. So I'll see y'all soon. My name is Jason from Orthodontic Lab Pros in Northern California. I've been in contact with Pauline recently and look forward to using the machine. Lab owners have been waiting for this type of machine
Hi,
for years.
Jason. I know Jason very well. We talk. And he actually sent me samples. So I'm going to work on his samples and try to see how many seconds it would take. So I'm
so,
working on his project now.
so he sent you samples of like his wire bending, like a
Correct.
special design or something.
He actually sent me pictures of what he
Okay, okay,
wanted. And I'm going to basically go on Jaw Draw and make him his samples and time them and give him
okay.
the right time. Because it could take anywhere from 30 seconds. It could take anywhere from 30 to, I want to be correct, right on the dot. Do it 3 times and let the customer know
Yeah,
how long it will take.
yeah.
So,
Maybe send a video.
yeah, can send a video.
Uh, and you're willing to work with every interested party like that. I've got that from you on the phone.
I'm here to help everybody,
Yeah,
and I want everybody to learn the technology. I want everybody to actually know what we have. It's a great product. It's a beautiful machine to where you can actually don't think small. You want to think big. You want to expand your lab. If you're specializing in acrylic, you can go ahead and make your own retainers and build your lab.
and that's a
There's so
good
much
point.
potential out there.
That ortho technicians have different talents, and they'll tend to migrate to where they feel the most comfortable. Most have to wire bend to be able to make anything in the lab, pretty
Right.
much. So if you're not good at wire bending, this might be a good opportunity for that person. And you just want to concentrate on making beautiful acrylic retainers. I don't know if you've seen pictures of some of these people that do designs and tie dyes and
Yeah,
things
they're
on their
amazing.
retainers. Yeah, we talked about yesterday the artistic side of being in the ortho lab, and I could see something like this taking the monotonous load off of your shoulders, meaning you do 20 of the same retainers every day, but you have that one specialized Bionator Frankel or something, and you bend that one by hand,
Right.
because that's what you want to concentrate on, are those big, big things like that.
You know what? I've been an exports counsel for 3 years, no, 5 years in the state of Illinois. Um, what I always taught to everybody is that 96% of your customers are outside the United States. 96%. And I proved that to myself. We, through AIM, we got the Exports Award for 3 years in the state of Illinois, back in 2011, 12, 13. But think about it. How would you like exporting these appliances outside the US?
Right.
By lowering the cost, you can do it.
That that makes and that's why the other way, many in the Crown and Bridge dental lab section knew 5 or 10 years ago there was just a flood of work going to China to make for us to come back because they could do it at such a lower price point, like you're
Right.
saying. But then technology came, 3D printing, CAD CAM milling, where you got a machine doing a lot of the load uh,
Correct.
for you. I want to say that the China has lowered down. The overseas exporting has lowered down because we're able to do it here, and have more control over it. So good point on that. And this is the same way. You might actually reverse the flow and
Exactly.
reverse the flow and start making it back, sending it
While
back out.
growing your business.
We have a user of the machine. I wish Facebook would import the names and stuff. You'll have to tell me your name. Our machine has been running without issue since 2019. So
It's
that's good
because
to
they're
know.
built in the USA, Cade.
Yeah, right there. In batches of 10, not just mass
Right.
produce.
We
Uh,
don't cut corners, that's for sure.
yeah, so any maintenance on this machine, hardware to be replaced, anything like that,
Minimal.
minimal. Are there
Minimal.
no parts are designed to wear out?
Well, your tools will obviously wear out, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like your pliers will wear
Right.
out, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But other than that, there's nothing you need to do besides once a year maybe lubricate, put a little oil in the ways that move.
Okay. Just lubricating it, keeping it kind of what we have to do with our 3D printers anyway. Just
Right,
just
right. Yeah,
dusting
my
it.
only concern is when, because some labs can be very dusty.
Yeah.
These servo precision machines don't like dust.
Yeah, I noticed y'all have brushless servo motors in this
Yes,
thing, which is really
yes,
cool.
yeah.
It, and we have the same problem with our 3D printing, and that's why, like in my lab, I've built a separate room
Right,
to keep it
yeah,
away from the dust and stuff. So you don't
correct.
want this. It'd be nice to have this thing sitting right by where you bend wires and just shoot up the wires right in front of you, and you tack them on the model. That'd be great. But
Yeah.
uh, going back to my thought process of the future of OrthoLab, and that's like you got the 3D printed model printing, so you get a STL file in, and you base it, and you send it to the model, get printed. Then you open up jaw draw, and design it, and it spits out the wires, and
Right.
then you throw them in the pan. When the 3D printing's done, you throw that in the pan, and then you go back and you tack the wires on the model, do your acrylic work, and then you're done. That seems, I know a lot of larger labs, and I think Zach's Ortho Lab is the user that said he's had his running since 2019 without
There
issue.
you go. Yeah.
So
Yeah. We have another option for the larger production labs. The problem is that, so you can have one machine, because the machine is so fast, it'll make your part in 30 seconds, right?
yeah,
But remember, you need 3 to 5 minutes maybe to design something.
in the software,
So
software
you
time.
can have 10 designers all using the same machine
Mm-hmm.
and still be okay, right?
Right.
So what we came up with is a simple automation with a conveyor, where we put a conveyor in front of the machine, and then we, right next to the machine, we put a label printer. When the job is created, it's throwing the part into a preset pan,
Okay.
and a label of that job, it's actually the file name of that job, drops in the same container.
Oh, okay.
Then the conveyor moves it away, and then the next job is getting a new container for the new job. This way, you simplify the logistics, right? Oh my God, which job is that retainer?
Yeah. Yeah, you got a big mass
right?
of labial bows and you don't know what to go with.
Exactly.
So that's, the larger labs, I could totally see that. You got 10 designers, one
Right.
machine, and it's just spitting out
Yeah.
as fast as it can go.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to, one of my viewers on my personal YouTube channel, I picked, so we will disappear. No, you won't disappear. We need your talents still. Like this is almost like, think about pre-formed labial bows. That was the rage for a long time, but you still needed a technician to adapt them and to finish it out and make sure it looks right and QC and all that stuff. This is just like an elevated preformed labial bow that's custom made for that model you're working on. So 90% of it's done, 95% of it's done. And then you also need some knowledge with the software. You got to know what it's going to look like.
That's true.
Yeah. So, thank God. You won't disappear.
I call it a CNC pair of pliers, an automatic plier machine.
Yeah, automatic plier. I call it a wire bending robot, but I like CNC pliers. So that's great. We're coming up on an hour, and I try to keep these. So, guys, the last minute questions. Would I can? I think I missed some in here. If I missed some, I'm sorry. But we will try to start wrapping this up. I want to thank y'all for y'all's time.
I want to thank you also, Kate. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, ORG. Thank you, everyone who is affiliated with the organization.
Yeah, we're a group of orthodontists or orthodontic lab owners and technicians that we finally are talking with each other. Before, we were in a small little closet. We didn't talk to anybody, like a little hermit. But now we're coming out of our shell. We're actually being able to discuss these kind of topics with each other. And then notice in the comments, they were talking with each other when you go back to watch this. And they were discussing things, asking questions to current lab owners. And that's one of the great things is, current lab owners that have this machine, you can reach out to them through this association and talk to them. But I love it. Y'all are new members of ORG sponsors. Means y'all are dedicated to this industry, and I really appreciate that. Let's see. I'm looking over my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. We do have some. Okay. Leah, Jason's partner, Ortho Lab Pros, a couple of questions in regards to software. With the initial purchase of the machine, is the software included, and is there an annual fee? So I believe there is an annual fee involved with the software.
Yeah, there's a license fee. There's two pieces of software actually. One that controls the machine, and
Uh-huh.
that has a permanent. The machine has a permanent license for that,
Okay.
and you don't need anything there. But the jaw draw is it's not sold actually. It's sold as a service. So there's an annual license fee to be able to design.
And I saw you can pay that in a lump sum, or monthly, right? Did I read that
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then also, is there a warranty on the machine?
The machine is it 1 year or 2 years?
I think it's 2.
Yeah, I need to double check.
We'll double check on
But
that.
you can purchase extended warranty if you want, which is, I believe the extended warranty is 5% of the lease price per year.
Oh, okay. That. Oh, nice. Okay. And lastly, is there an additional fee for the multi-user option? There's a multi-user option. Like, is that for jaw draw?
So it's not per user, it's per license. And only one person can use the one license at a time.
Okay.
So if you need 2 users, you need to pay for 2 licenses.
Okay. Okay. So that would be mainly for the larger, huge labs.
Right.
And that each user needs their own account.
No.
Otherwise, like if my son uses it and I use it, that's one user, and we're using the same account.
I mean, as long as you don't use it at the same time, it's a license that remains in the computer, let's say. And
Okay.
if you can't use it in the morning, you can use it in the afternoon or what have you.
Right. Okay. Whoever's it's installed on one computer, and then that's what the license is for. Whoever uses that computer.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not going to facial scan you and make sure you're you're the same user every time.
No. We have some customers that have 4 or 5 licenses, by the way. So.
Oh wow, that sounds amazing. Let me. I'm gonna put Pauline. I'm gonna put your email down in the bottom here. I'm looking. I'm gonna copy and paste it so that I get the exact thing in there, so people can reach out to you with any questions.
You can put sales at AOS Micro.
Sales. You can do sales.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put both of those, and that way everybody has it. And then AOSmicro.com. So definitely people reach out with your questions. There's not when I reached out to Pauline, there was not a heavy sales. She was there to answer questions, and man, we talked for like an hour on the phone. It was great to learn more about the machine, and she's really good at learning about our industry too, considering she has come from a healthcare, and then we're in this industry. And then Constantine, we may have you speaking at the conference, maybe if we can get that scheduled. So surprise if you didn't know that, but
no, I let them know anything.
I'm always ready, Kat.
Yeah, I let them know.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We'll try to get you a speaking slot, and we can learn more about the ins and outs of the machine. And of course, we'll see y'all at the conference. You're going to be at LMT. So if anybody is watching this and they're going to LMT, so you're going to be at LMT Lab Day at the end of this month, actually.
We're going to be at booth D2. So come visit us. We're going to be there to answer your questions.
We're going to have a machine there too.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, awesome. That, like I said, I've always said us ortho technicians are very visual people. So actually seeing the thing run and we'll either at LMT or at our conference in April, will we be able to play around with the jaw draw software?
Absolutely,
to kind of get an idea?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds awesome. And then y'all might be putting together a special for the conference. Maybe I won't hold your fire to it, but maybe a special for the people out there. Oh, here we go. Here's a question. Perry, is this the only machine out there for bending ortho wires, or are there competitors?
Let me know if you find somebody, because I haven't.
Yeah, I think you're the only one out there. Like you said at the very beginning with your other machine, that you couldn't find anything out there.
Right.
So
Yeah. So far, we're the only ones in the world. We're the first and only actually in the world. I heard some rumors that some Chinese are trying to make something. I'm like, good luck, guys.
yeah, they're trying to reverse engineer your work.
They cannot. It's
I,
a lot
I
of
think
software.
Pauline said there's been a couple companies, but they failed, or they've tried to make it, but they failed. They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So,
They don't have the
um,
mind of Constantine, Cade.
It's
yeah,
not only me. I mean, I've been doing it for 35 years, right? And not only me, we were a team of like 15 genius engineers. It's
oh
not
yeah,
it's not easy and it's not cheap either, right? So if somebody thinks they're going to spend a couple of weeks and write a software to do what we wrote for 30 years, good luck.
right. You're leaning on your expertise in all this, and nobody can
Yeah,
replace that. Nobody can replace.
yeah.
Same
That
thing with ortho technicians, like
right,
with IPEC saying, "My question: robot bends wire or also finishes the appliance." No, you need a technician to finish the appliance.
correct.
You need a
So
technician.
yeah,
You need
so
to put your special trademark on that.
yeah, put your special trademark on it. Your
Exactly.
expertise,
That
as we're saying.
5%. We left it as 5% for you guys to have your trademark.
Yeah, and I think we already answered that one. So one last question, and we'll go. Do you need a built computer, RAM, memory, etc., to run the machine and or software? So it looks like one software lives inside the machine. The jaw draw lives on your machine, and you need a pretty good computer to run it.
So the machine itself comes with a little laptop. Usually we buy HPs, very reliable, and that takes care of the machine work and this machine software, let's say. Now, JoJo, you need to install it in your computer.
Okay.
I run it in i5s with 8 gigs of RAM, no problem.
Okay.
But if you're running a video podcast in the background, maybe you're gonna need something faster.
Well, I gotta watch my computer obviously because it froze up in the middle of this thing.
Right.
So, and so like Windows, Apple's computer, is it mainly Windows? Windows.
Everything's
Okay.
Windows. Yeah. It's recommended an i7 with at least 16 gigs of RAM, but it'll run in an i5 with 8 gigs of RAM.
Okay. Okay. Good. And so the laptop that comes with it is just to run the CAD
Okay.
CAM CNC part of the
Right.
software.
Yeah.
It does all this bend and this bend and that bend and that bend and all the
Right.
dimensions and things in there. So, so with that being said, I'm gonna thank y'all for showing. Perry's got the final say. Thanks for being there, and thanks for being the pioneers.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the industry. ORG, Kate, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, so y'all stay on. I'm gonna end the stream. Y'all stay on.
Okay.
We gotta finish some uploading. But until then, my usual goodbye that I say during my live stream is, and it works perfect here. Until next time, happy bending.